Hey guys, Will Terry here, and in this video I've got the perfect way for you to get the perfect blend of diversity in your characters for your children's books. Okay, you ready for this? In creating characters and in let's say the characters have friends or they have family and different characters in the story, you're going to want to hit all the notes. You're going to want to make sure that you have the right race, the right genders, maybe even the right disabilities, and so you gotta get it right. Okay, so here I am. I'm writing this story. Let me back up first and just say that this is video number 5 in the series that I've created in how to create a money-making art project. And yeah, I want to talk about how do we get the best blend of diversity. I'm going to cut to the chase and say you can't do it. It's impossible. And this is pretty much going to be a much shorter video than I normally make because there's really not that much to talk about. There are a lot of people out there that are in publishing who are doing exactly that. And I feel like they're wasting their time trying to, criticize people for not including the right amount of genders, the right amount of race, the right amount of diversity. And it can't be done. One, if I made my main character a Latino or a black person, or if I made my main character, Indian, from India or something like that, what do I know about those different cultures? It's a lot of people would give me a lot of criticism for going that direction. And at the same time, if I make my character, my lead character, a white character, then I'll get criticism for doing that as well. So to me, the best way to solve the problem is by using animals. Big reveal. Animals solve everything, because animals you can use an almost infinite number of animals in your story. So they're all different. They're all diverse. You can choose whether or not you want to have them be different genders or not. You could go genderless, right? I mean, like, you look at a wolf and from a distance you can't tell if it's a male or female, right? And so that is, to me, number one, the biggest thing that solves the problem. And quite frankly, I can't figure out why big publishers don't publish more books with animals. I've always loved drawing animals as characters, anthropomorphizing them, which is, to give them human characteristics. And I think that children will see themselves in any character that is doing and going through the same experiences that they have, right? So we love stories, the traditional Disney stories, traditional children's books where characters are animals. Children have no problem relating. I think it's us as adults that are trying to impose our will on children. I think children are naturally not racist at all. I think children naturally care about each other and kids will play with any kids. In fact, I wasn't going to do this, but I just made me think of a story that I got to tell you. When I was young, I was probably, I believe I was 12. I got sent to go stay with my rich aunt and uncle who lived on Long Island, and I didn't know anything about being racist. My parents weren't racist. They were very accepting of everyone, and I was always taught that way, specifically to be accepting of everyone, no matter what their skin color, no matter what their situation in life, socioeconomic status, anything. Just everyone has the same value. And my uncle lived on the water, and right down the street was a beach. So I went down there to play, got permission to go down there and play in the water, but I was all alone. My sister didn't want to come with me. And so I'm all alone trying to have fun at this little beach. And I looked because there was a canal in between the beach that I was on, and right across the canal, an inlet, there was another beach over the other side. There was all these kids playing over there. And all I saw were kids playing and having fun. And I wanted to be over there playing with them. And so I asked my uncle, can I go and play with them over there? And he says, "Oh, you don't want to play over there. The water's dirty over there." And I'm like, "Wow." And so I'm like, "Do the kids know that the water's dirty over there?" And later on, I told my dad, I'm like, this beach down here, there's nobody playing down here. Can we go over there? And he's like, "Well, I don't know. Why do you want to go over there?" And I'm like, and then I told him, I'm like, "But I'm worried that the water's dirty because Uncle Ray said, the water's dirty." And then he's like, "Wait a minute." And so there were kids over there. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, let me just say, Uncle Ray's racist." Okay. And, that was really shocking to me because I'm like, that's weird. He actually didn't want me to play with these kids because of their skin color. Wow. I can't believe that. And at a 12-year-old, I knew it was wrong. So kids naturally have, I think I think we're the ones, adults, who impose that on them. And I think that, in publishing right now, there's this, for a lot of, not all publishers, but for a lot of them, they're really, their priorities are misplaced. Everything can be solved, in my opinion, by using animals. So that's what I've chosen to do with my story here. And you can see, I'm going to show you some of these characters that I've got. I did some, this was my first pass at a turnaround for the rabbit character and the little fox character. I chose a fox for the main character, simply because foxes are red. Red stands out. Foxes are kind of beloved animals. People tend to have really good opinions of foxes. They're not overly aggressive. They're nimble. The kid in this book is small and nimble and athletic. And so it was kind of a perfect fit. But really, it was for that red color in the fur to stand out as a focal point, because the main character is always going to be the focal point in just about every single image that I have in the book. And so that's why I chose him. And so I also deviated from this little turnaround a little bit. I found that I liked the character better with thinner limbs, thinner legs. So I did morph away from this style guide during the book, and kind of had to go back through and check for kind of quality control, consistency there. And I guess I'll, that's basically my update this week for my book project, is, why I chose animals for the book. And I think it really matters. I'm going to end on one other story. The next images that you're going to look at here are some of the first work that I did as an illustrator back in the 90s, where I did a lot of corporate illustration and editorial illustration for companies and internal brochures and annual reports and things like that. And I got asked to illustrate articles for general concepts like teamwork. So I remember getting an assignment, I can't remember the company, who hired me to do an assignment on teamwork. And so what they wanted was a bunch of people in the office, in office attire, handing each other boxes, and then going up a ladder to hand boxes up a ladder, and then finally making a big stack of boxes all in one illustration, so that we could see that the whole office is having teamwork, and there needed to be a manager. And so the manager is kind of managing the operation, and everyone's flowing and working together. Okay, so I did this sketch, and I sent it in, and then I had a conference call, and I talked to the kind of a committee on this call, and there were like 5 or 6 people sitting around this conference table, and then there's me, and they said, "Well, we're not sure about your mix of diversity." This was like 20 years ago. And so I'm going, okay, so, and what I had done was I had chosen a female to be on the ladder, and she wasn't very high up on the ladder, but she's just up on a little kind of step ladder. And then there's some bigger guys, both Hispanic and white, and another white guy. And then they're handing boxes to each other and handing it to her. And she's handing it up to another woman. And then there's a manager who is a black guy who's directing and pointing, right, where to go. And so they start going, "Well, I don't know. You know, you got the women aren't really lifting. They're just kind of receiving the boxes. Maybe you should pull a woman down. And we're not sure about this black guy in the foreground where he's just pointing and telling them what to do. It doesn't seem like he's working enough. And so I'm like, and I knew this was coming. So I'm like, okay, tell me what you want me to do. Let's play the game and mix them around and put them where you want them to be. And so then they're like, well, okay, so let's see. And then they're talking about it as I'm listening. And then they're like, well, what if the black guy's over here and he's lifting up? And someone else pipes in. Well, then that's going to look like he's not in management. He's a lowly grunt guy lifting him up. And, you know, people of color are often the ones that are, you know, the harder working. They're, you know, doing the more menial tasks. And he should be, I like him more in where he's directing, because then he's more managerial. And they're like, okay, all right, but what about the women? You know, what if the women were down here? Well, then the men are above the women. I mean, you could not make this up. They're just going, and I'm just, you know, I'm just kicked back listening. And finally they go, okay, all right, you know what? It's fine the way it is. And I'm like, yeah, because you can't win it. You could pick apart any combination that you chose, and they finally had to come to that stupid agreement and realize that, yeah, there is no way to do it right. You can never get the right percentages. You can't get the right skin tones. You can't, I mean, getting worked up here. You can't, I mean, what about the Polynesian people in there? We're missing some of those guys. What about the island people? Are we representing all of them? Do we have enough women? What if in some offices there's more women than guys? What about, I mean, like you could mix it up as a million different ways, and you'd never get the right combination. And so that's why I love going with animals. Love to hear what you would think in the comments. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. And now if you want to stick around just for a little bit longer, I'm going to tell you about svslearn.com, which is our online illustration school for children's book illustrators. And we've got all the classes that you could ever want for a full illustration program. But specifically, we've got the classes for learning how to illustrate children's books. We've also got our Children's Book Pro class. So check us out at svslearn.com. And thanks for watching. And don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you liked what you saw. That way you'll get more in your feed in the future. And I'll see you on the next video.